What's going on, my friends? We're gonna go ahead and jump into a Gauntlet run here. It does look like the charger's closed currently, but we'll still navigate to it just to get this Gauntlet destination in. And calculating. I know the supercharger's closed. There we go. Alright, so activated slightly later than normal there. Hopefully my cameras both keep running. Jeez. I might have to update the GoPros or get something else in the future because they just keep randomly shutting off. Not from heat or anything else, just a really annoying thing. Maybe it's the SD card, I don't know. I'll deal with that on my own time. But we haven't done this in a while, and I have not done this on version 12.3.6. Well, here is our stop test. Pretty good. And then we get on it, which I like. Get out of here, birds. I've liked this initial start of the original Gauntlet, which we have marked, which we are doing as well. Not Gauntlet 2, but the OG Gauntlet, for old time's sake, so to speak. But this has always been a good spot to test, you know, how the stop sign execution's been, how the system feels, because, you know, once the NHTSA crackdowns happened, I know. Guy's getting impatient. Can't really blame him. Anyway, NHTSA, National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, blah, 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 crackdown on the stop signs, making it really painful because, you know, you'd be stopped for like almost a good 3 seconds, getting honked at, bothered. You'd have to get on the throttle to get moving. And it's gotten better. Right there was a good awkward scenario with driver-to-driver frustration. He did one of these at me. I don't know if you could see it in the cameras. Again, I don't really blame him. You know, the car was taking longer than it really should have to get going, but it was also making sure that he wasn't going to take off. Now, this is a nightmare, especially around now. It's not quite 11 in the morning. Is this Prius going to let us in? Wow, a decent human. Thank you. You're cool. That is not usually the case through here. And hopefully we make a committed execution here and just go into this left bank, because this can cause some issues. If we take too long and you got cars coming down, this Mazda might get impatient, you got this person backing up, this spot can be a mess. I'm sure in the slew of Friar's challenges of the original Gauntlet and Gauntlet 2, you've seen plenty of scenarios where Mew and I have been in an awkward position here. Alright, so we should have no excuse but to head down. And in true fashion, we just totally failed to turn left. Okay, well, alright. Let's try that again. That's an uncommon failure, where it just fails to recognize the need to turn left. It jolted a little bit, but then just kept driving straight. And you could see clearly on the map that we were indicating a left turn there. So we're not going to do the full stop sign scenario, and we're just going to come in through here. I'll go ahead and just turn it back on and see how we handle this right with these cars. Stopped really far back here. No one behind us. No real problem. Here we go. Right turn. We're good. Hopefully, we're seeing it again. Left turn bank onto the 163. Man, Gauntlet came out swinging. You okay, Mew? You got this, buddy. We do this all the time. I don't know if it was all the cars or what. The gate there was closed. Man, it looked like that garbage truck was flying. There's another reason I like this road, because there's a lot of this, whether they're big semi-trucks for delivery or shuttles picking up passengers. These roads get way more busy than you might expect. This is Essex Street, I want to say, as start. And for anybody who wants to do the Gauntlet, or to see what it's like, or drive it for old time's sake, I always start at 3818 Herbert Street, and my destination is the supercharger, the Tesla supercharger in Fashion Valley. It was originally called the Friars Challenge because we take the Friars Road exit, where version 10 would always fail epically on the 8 East and Hotel Circle roundabout exits, which were fixed once we went to version 11. Alright, will we make this left? Both cameras are still on. And, okay, yeah, we got it. Oh, gate's actually open. I don't know if I was just thinking it was closed or said it out loud. Okay, let's observe how close we get here. At apex is really tight. Ooh. Butt pucker moment. But no curb rash today. Alright, we got a Honda racing up on us. Are they gonna let us over? Cool. We managed to get in. And if you look back, way back in the channel history on this challenge on version 10, I think before 10.6, that was a no-go. The merge to get onto this 163 would never work. It could never do it. It was always a fail. Let me double check our routing here, because why do we have... Oh, because it's still marking Herbert Street as our endpoint destination. I will leave that. So this is our normal spot to actually a little earlier than normal. We usually merge around the stadium sign, or kind of in between these areas. Now this is a good lane to be in as we're heading into the Hotel Circle roundabouts and the 8 East exit, which on version 10 again were always failure conditions. I'll put us back on full screen here. We're going to watch everybody. We just also have drastic slowdowns coming into these caution lights, like really bad. We would, on version 10 days, when we had NOA running the highway code, we would drop down to almost 50 miles an hour, which is way too slow, or even slower. There we go. I've seen as low as like 72 kilometers an hour, which is getting down in the 40s in miles per hour. All right, we're coming around. We're gonna, as our last kind of checkpoints on the original Friars Challenge, we're gonna look at the hairpin execution, like whether we just kind of cruise through comfortably, maybe pause to make sure we're clear, but we shouldn't full on stop like a stop sign. And then we'll have the execution for the double left turn lane, which in the past, before version 11, or at least a certain point in version 11, or maybe it was version 12, done so many of these I forget, but it used to stage really late on the final left turn before we started running Gauntlet 2, and now it does a great job of getting over early enough. Occasionally it'll mess up and get back on the highway here. That is also very rare, probably more rare than the failure to recognize our entrance to the 163 from earlier in the video. We are coming down to our hairpin. It'll be interesting because we've got this large vehicle in front of us, and we do have traffic behind us too. And you can see here on the screen, I love this overlay, by the way. I haven't really made too much of a comment on the UI improvements, but I love having this full screen display and seeing the map as well. There are also very rare failure conditions where it'll hop into this left lane randomly and then proceed straight or turn left when it shouldn't. All right, now just like this guy, now he's a bit bigger, so he might pause more. We want to not get too close. Okay, that's pretty good. Well, once he gets along, we should just kind of follow through. We shouldn't fully stop here. There we go. Beautiful execution. Right turn signal, totally fine there. That is an applicable point to do that. And now, the difference between Gauntlets 1 and 2, or the original Friars Challenge, and what became just the Gauntlet in version 12 especially, is where we differ after this light. So Gauntlet 2 would continue underneath and then re-enter the highway, which we'll do after we finish the OG Gauntlet here. I'll circle back and we'll see how version 12.3.6 is handling this entry to the highway. But see, this is good. This is an early stage for these left-hand turns, which is good, where before it would be waiting to like where this blue car is to finally get over, which is way too late. Very sloppy. So the original Gauntlet's pretty much, well, solved. You know, we had our first fail on it right from the get-go. Also in the past, there was some weird, I don't know, behavior around speed-based lane changing, and it would just randomly like get into both lanes and sit awkwardly diagonally, or last minute try to like get where that Toyota is. This is all a merge, which is fine. And I don't know, the drawn line here is a bit exaggerated. I wonder if we'll actually stay with the line. Not bad, following a natural path. That's pretty good. And yeah, this is at the point where I would traditionally have, you know, given my closing thoughts on the Gauntlet and all, and we would talk about how the system did. I'm going to turn this back around and retarget Herbert Street, and I might actually just turn us around because it might take us down a path I don't really want to go on. Oh, here we go. We'll navigate through and then down and then re-enter and continue. So this will be a little bit longer. Hope you guys enjoy the video. And okay, good. Just making sure this camera's not turning off. It's always guilty of that. But my eventual goal, and I might be partnering up with Mugen XS, my buddy that I've been streaming with in the past. Childhood best friends, grew up together in Florida. He's very happy to have me back. And he has agreed to be my streaming buddy in the car. So we'll do live streams, and we're going to hunt for a Florida version of a Gauntlet. And maybe more than one if we can. All right, we need to go. We have the arrow. Oy, really slow. I gave it kind of an instinctive little throttle tap. Very, very quick one, just to nudge us. That wasn't too bad. That was more habitual for me than anything, just from driving all the time to prevent holding people up too much. But yeah, Mugen's agreed to be my streaming buddy. He'll be in the passenger seat, able to help us interact with the actual audience, and we'll be hunting for a really challenging course in Florida. And again, several if we can find them. That'd be a lot of fun. Something to pay homage and represent this original Gauntlet that's been the bane of FSD's existence since I found it years ago. For it to still be a course that isn't perfectly solved is pretty remarkable, considering how good this tech has gotten in its day-to-day use. Not perfect. It does have its issues and messes up, as we've already seen. But in general use, at least with 3.6 on version 12, it is about 70+% of the time handling all the customer trips, as well as my own trips. And also predicting like pedestrian movement. It started to slow down there as this guy was walking forward illegally. That's not a spot where he's supposed to be crossing. But I look forward to how this system behaves in Florida. I really hope that I do get 12.4 of some accord while I'm here. That way we can kind of see how it does for me in California and then measure that in Florida. Because I'll do a final RoboTaxi report for everybody. If you've seen a couple of my previous videos, I've mentioned this too. I'm going to do a final report for California and continue collecting data and observations in Florida, and have a way to separate those for everybody to see the difference, because it's really cool. I don't know of too many people that have been able to collect all this data in one state and then like actually long-term try it in another. It's different when I'm like in Vegas for the weekend visiting my buddies, or when I headed up to Eugene when I was training with Archimoto originally back in 22. But actually in a permanent status, what are you doing? See, this is another sloppy flop kind of issue there. That wasn't too great. I'm gonna actually report that. System sort of floating between lanes, driving on the line. Now I know I'm on 12.3.6 and everyone's way past that, but you know, I'm still gonna do my little things where I can to help out. But yeah, I mean, my little brief periods of time in the other states don't really count as significantly as me actually moving to Florida, which, by the way, for anybody keeping up, it is currently Wednesday, and tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow I sign my actual closing documents with the notary and make it official. So tomorrow I will officially be a fully closed and complete home owner. So that's really exciting. And tomorrow will also mark my last 2 weeks in California, because we are scheduled to depart early on the 1st, like 5-6 a.m. August 1st, to start our trek to Florida. All right, here we go. Continuing with what became the Gauntlet 2.0, or just kind of called the Gauntlet after we decided to make this more of a down and back scenario. So in previous tests on versions, all the version 12s, honestly, this has been sort of a roulette. I said that really weird. Of whether or not it'll actually get back on the highway properly, or make a weird left lane change and then try to do a U-turn at this stop sign. So let's see, what's it gonna be? What you got, Mew? Are we gonna U-turn? Are we gonna do something weird? Are we gonna go to the right? Are we gonna go to the left? Yeah, all right, today we're getting back on the highway. Awesome. Kind of like with the, well, let's see how we actually treat this. And kind of timely manner, get up here, stop. Now we clearly should be going. Okay, cool. That was pretty good. Good stuff. And then we'll accelerate onward to our finish line, and still recording. Awesome. I was gonna say the bike lane test that I did, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. If you just search bike lane test, it should pop up. I did a dedicated test with like 10 passes around some cones on a bike lane on Park Boulevard. I later went with my new buddy Dan, and we did it again. The car was failing pretty bad at it, both with and without lead cars. All the hypotheses that people were bringing out, it was just really funny, showing just how probabilistic the neural net functions. And yeah, interesting braking behavior as we make that left turn. Not super comfortable. And I'll hard on the brakes again, and we make another left lane change, creating space, doing good, and executing. Heck yeah. All right, now, final real point here. Will we stay on the proper lane, or will it mistakenly take this first exit? Never seems to really do this on camera. It always does a signal saying choosing left to stay on the fork, but then it'll mistakenly decide at the last minute to go to the right. Cool. Mew is doing really good on this one, aside from our flop with that first left turn entrance. But hey, that just shows that the Gauntlet is still a beast to be reckoned with. And now this takes us into our last yield and false positive stop scenario, which had been fixed with version 12. That was one of the solid fixes. The hairpin and this stop after this yield were really good. This is a really difficult yield. I often do need to give a little throttle help here because we're on a blind left scenario. We even have humans like this that have totally jacked it up. I wonder if Mew sees the turn signal and is going to let him in. Yep. Kind of forced his way in, which is fine. Humans mess us up all the time. Now we need to proceed. I'm going to give us a little throttle because we got lots of people behind us. I'm giving us a little bit more throttle. Okay, there we go. Because it will sit there and anger people. And now this is another point where we should continue around. I'm going to give us throttle because this guy's on our ass like a typical Californian. All right, it would have proceeded. It just slows down quite a bit there, just like it did with the first stop. But yeah, I mean, this guy's already getting back up on my ass again. My goodness. Yeah, you go ahead and get on past me. I'm going to take over because I need to slow down and let him pass me anyway. Jeez. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Gauntlet is still a tough course. Looking forward to replacing that. Please give me your suggestions if you're in Florida and all. And again, if you have any suggestions, I'm going to go check the comments on the video of the challenge I did, suggested by Boom. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this. Finally getting a Gauntlet on 3.6. I really hope, again, that I see 12.4. But if not, you know, we'll get it eventually. I'm probably, honestly, just going to end up with 12.5. We'll see. Thanks again so much, guys. I'll catch you in the next video.